Good evening and welcome to the CSI Shocks Spring Series, round 2 of the season. Ahead of us today at Limaland, a motorsports park. Going to be quite the race on this very flat, just short of a half-mile circuit. As we get set to go live right here on the Global Sim Racing channel. As always, my name is Ryan Jones. Alongside of me is Gary Weaver, and Sean Ambrose is behind the scenes using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. And let's take a closer look at how you get around Limaland Motorsports Park with our GSRC track guide.
Welcome to Limaland. This unique 3/10 of a mile oval nestled in Aleta, Ohio provides a unique challenge to the competitors. Limaland has two very short straights coupled together with two very tight corners, making momentum king. With it being dirt, astute drivers will notice the cushion change and move and are able to adapt themselves to the constantly changing conditions. 16 degrees of banking in the corners gives way to 8 degrees on the straights. The corners themselves do not lend to being against the tire barriers at the very bottom of the track at all, as that is where the track really flattens out. Speed is made up against the wall, as well as a little fling in dirt while you're at it, with the banking lending drivers plenty of attack chances. The track is owned and operated by the University of Northern Ohio, UNOH for short, and hosts Friday night racing throughout the racing season. This offers the university students a unique opportunity to compete on a professional level while attending school. Limaland is special on the surface because it was one of the first dirt tracks that iRacing scanned to start the dirt model. On top of the local heroes battling it out every Friday night, the track in real life plays host to the UMP Modifieds, who put on a thrilling show every time they descend upon the track. All in all, Limaland provides amazing racing, and it's an absolute driver and fan favorite. Dirt racing popularity is on the rise in the nation, and it's on the rise in iRacing. This is our guide to Limaland. Enjoy the show.
That was your GSRC track guide here, of course, on the Global Sim Racing channel. Gary, what more can you tell us about this track?
For Limaland Motorsports Park, like you mentioned, it's under half of a mile at points, 4 miles in length, 7 kilometers of banking in the turns, 8 degrees on the straightaway, and, well, just in case it wasn't entirely obvious enough, it is, of course, dirt. So, just in case that wasn't obvious enough to everyone, moisture definitely going to be a little bit of a effect for sure here tonight as the track just slowly gets rubbered in here in practice.
And this track going to be interesting as we go through the night, because obviously you're seeing now a lot of drivers riding at the top as we take a look at our race details. Thanks to competition suspensions incorporated. Same as last week, Gary, apart from a slight tweak to the format.
Yeah, it's going to be now 3 heats for the top 2 advance to the A-main as opposed to the 2 heats compared to last week. So definitely going to be quite interesting to see what the 3rd heat can do. You'd be surprised with just one more chance, essentially, that could be given to drivers like to do so. Already it's going to be a given 6 drivers that will be advancing from the heats in total at least, and we shall see how this plays out throughout the evening, especially as these heats go on and as the track continues to wear down.
Certainly, and as I was saying, everyone running at the top of the racetrack at the moment. How many people venture down low, start pulling some crazy slide jobs here. You can see those tyres half sunken down into the bottom of the track as well. That's something you've really got to watch out for as you pull those moves down low. You accidentally clip one of those, and very easy to unsettle the car in a way that sends you straight up the racetrack.
Yeah, it's definitely brutal, especially for those tires that you can see on the inside lane, the white tires especially, but Yeah, once you clip those, well, you really, first of all, don't want to clip those. You want to aim for them at the most. But if you do clip those, well, if you're lucky enough, you just get a little air like that. You see those tires there just on the inside lane right there. And, well, that's going to be something that you don't want to watch out for. You clip them, you just managed to get on 3 wheels and escape away. But, yeah, do something like that. Yeah, that's something that you could kind of be lucky with. But if you hit it a little bit harder, maybe even with the back wheel, if you take the corner too much, well, it's not really going to go too well as practice ends. Qualifying coming up soon.
Going to be a short, sharp quality session here on the dirt track. As the timer ticks over and we're going to get qualifying underway here. Qualifying brought to you by Racing Bars, the OEM manufacturer for Schroeder and Chalk 6 torsion bars. 3 laps they get around this track, this quarter-mile circuit. Top 14 will get a free spot in the A main. Track state set to 20%. So 14th is the magic number. What can Logan Rumsey do in his first lap?
Now let's see how Logan Rumsey does already. He's on pole actually, so very quick completed lap. So like you mentioned, it's going to be a very quick session, but wouldn't be surprised if we see that fastest lap change a little bit more and more throughout. He wasn't faster this time around for his second of 3 laps, but he's doing relatively fine so far. Only about 0.2 off the last time around, this time by 1/10 off. So the first lap could have been that golden lap as we now take a look at Emerson Axum.
We saw him run down the bottom line through 1 and 2 and a little bit through 3 and 4 too. So that's already coming in for these drivers. Chance Crum is currently 4th and he's just started his final lap. Cale Coons hasn't set a lap time yet. His first lap will be at 12.16. That's going to put him quite a way down the order there. He's going to find a big improvement on that. As just over 10-second lap times, one of the quicker tracks out there due to its incredibly short length. No room for mistake. Kenny Miller going to be starting no higher than 8th in this one. Right, Randy Hannigan.
Let's see how he does. He's actually faster that time around, so he does get a little bit of improvement up to 6th place actually. So Hannigan now only 0.03 of a second off, just looking at the timing tower, and I think Hannigan just got shuffled down. Somebody made their way in a little bit that top 7, but now it's going to be the relatively about top 9 or so drivers within 1/10 of each other.
Sean Scott still got a couple laps up his sleeve in that number 43 sprint car. Coming back through 3 and 4 this time. Going to come across the line. Sean Scott's going to put himself up the 11.839. Puts him into 36th spot onto the track. Second time around. Going to need to find a big improvement. Doesn't. Goes 0.03 of a second slower. His final attempt then as he runs it around the top of the track through 3 and 4. Coming out of the corner. Just misses the fence. It's an 11. It's an invalidated lap time. So just clipped that fence. So he will start way back in the field. He's going to have to work his way through the heats here to try and get himself a spot in the A main. A massive field as always with this series. We've got over 40 cars registered in this one. And just one driver hasn't set a lap time. That is Preston Latimus at the moment. So we'll just wait for the last minute and a half to tick over here.
At this point, I'm thinking how many drivers are really going to be risking their heats essentially for to get into this event, especially since, well, it's multiple drivers, of course, that are just risking on going home. Only 14 make it, and well, looking at it right now, it's definitely a very, very stacked field. So more than half these drivers here will be going home.
It's cutthroat business out there. When you get the fields like this, there's not really much you can do. If you mess up your quality lap, you got to fight through those heats, and those heats are going to be wild. 3 of them ahead of us, and only 2 advancing per heat. You're going to find yourself having to work your way through very quickly. It'll be about 15 laps in length, so not very long either, at about 12-second lap times. There's still a few drivers out there circulating out on the track. trying to get their eye in. Lap times not counting after lap number 3 for them. That's the number 101 machine of Samuel Johnson from Indiana, who's making his way around very slowly at the moment. Just using up that time, taking a good look at that track. Basically a track walk, except he's in the car.
I was wondering if he was actually, looks like he's headed to pit road now. I thought that last time around he was going to get he's getting a practice restart. I think that's what he was doing for a quick moment, but then decided against it. So very clever time to make use of any available time that was left in this session. But now it's going to come down from 50 drivers to 14. It's going to be heat 1 here.
And let's look at how they'll start here for heat 1. Alex Ruppert will be on pole position for it. Rather than Gray will start from second place. Alex Relling and Maverick Elkins third and fourth. Zach Jerkic and Austin Edson off row 3. Jerry Brewer, Sean Scott 7th and 8th. Cale Coons and Dominic Carter running out the 10. Samuel Johnson, Clayton Christensen, Preston Latimus running out your 13. And the race details here for Heat 1 brought to you by Pit Logic. Pit Logic is the most comprehensive chassis and shock setup application on the market, Gary.
And right now, top 2, as you can see, will transfer. No yellow flags in these heats. So essentially, it's going to be a survival race for the most part. Preston Latimus has actually decided to call it early for whatever reason. So instead of 51, we will have 50. And Latimus was originally slated to start lucky number 13, but I guess that number had gotten to him a little bit too early.
Yeah, seems to be that case. So we'll have 12 people then in this one, and that ain't the starting grid. So 12 cars, 15 laps. If you're at the back, you've got to just count your lucky stars and try and make your way through the field as quick as you can, because otherwise your night is going to be done. No second chance races, no consolations, no B main, no C main. This is it. This is your final chance, basically, if you don't get through in qualifying. It does seem a very harsh business, doesn't it, when you cut 50 down to 20 in the space of just 1 quali and 3 heats.
Yeah, definitely is a little bit cutthroat. Apparently Rylan Gray as well didn't grid. He's still around the track, but he didn't grid for some reason, so I'm not sure what happened to the 06. Maybe some technical issues, but yeah, it's been showing that apparently some technical issues for the 06 machine, so hopefully that can get sorted out. But regardless, we are underway, and I think at this point the 06 might just have to call it a night. Like you mentioned, no last chance qualifiers, and all that's basically it.
That'll elevate everyone on the outside forward a row, which means Maverick Elkins will start outside row number 1 with our pole sitter down on the bottom of the track. Alex Ruppert will look to get a good launch then, as that pace truck will get out of the way there through 3 and 4 here at Limaland Motorsports Park, the CSI Shock Spring Series. Gonna get Heat 1 into some green flag conditions as we get ourselves underway, and a good start for the front row. Ruppert and Elkins will jump out front, rented up top. Gonna have to dive to the bottom, and that's contact with Zach Jursic, who went for a slide.
Yeah, Zach Jursic immediately out. He does have a little bit of a chance for the time being, but everyone else behind second place is scrambling. But for the lead on the outside, you see Maverick Elkins trying to make the outside lane work on Alex Rupert, but I don't think he's going to slide in his tire tracks in the meantime. But even Alex Relling now just trying to use the top cover for the inside is going to be Elkins rather, as he slide drops the 5 with a great crossover off exit turn number 4.
Issue with this track, when you pull a slide job like that, you've got no momentum coming out of the corner, and so easy for Rupert to drive back underneath him and drive on by before they even reach the next corner. So you're going to have to rethink some of the lines you take when you're overtaken here, especially as Elkins, as Edson and Relling are still duking it out for 3rd place, which won't matter come at the end of this race unless these two run into issues in front, on board with Elkins as he throws it to the bottom side of the track, kept the momentum up nicely up top. Low run side by side into 1 and 2 this time. Ruppert down on the bottom track, gonna take the top line away, but Elkins dives back beneath him.
And right back with the crossover is Alex Ruppert, but now this has brought Alex Relling and Austin Edson into the battle for the top 2 as Elkins tries to hang on to it off turn number 2. He'll attempt a slide job, but they'll just be side by side for the time being, with 5 powering off on the outside lane off of that corner. And I think Edson is already trying to make a pass on Relling, but that's not going to work. Heavy contact between Elkins. We're practically 3 wide for the lead through turns 3 and 4. The 45 was all the way on the bottom, opts for the top side, and that could shove out Elkins for the battle for the top 2. Maybe not.
4-way battle for 2 transfer spots, and a big dive from Alex Relling, and that shoves Maverick Elkins up into the fence and back into 4th place onto the track, out of the transfer spot. Relling puts himself up into P2 with Ruppert out front and Austin Edson back in 3rd. He went for the big slider down on the bottom side of the track. They were 3 wide. He slid up, and Elkins had nowhere to go with that one.
Right now it's 2 laps to go. These laps taking away so quickly. I think Relling wants to have the bragging rights to say that he wins this heat race at the meantime, but I don't think Austin Edson is going to have anything as we come to the white flag.
The white flag in the air then, one more time around here at Limaland. Ruppert and Relling looking comfortable for the transfer spots through 3 and 4. Alex Ruppert will win Pit Logic heat number 1 here at Limaland. Relling takes up the 2nd transfer spot with a big move to make it happen. So we'll take a look then at heat number 2. The starting order for this one is Josh Stoll on the pole, Bryce Lucas starting 2nd, Alex Karpowicz starting from 3rd with Steph Stencil alongside Justin Miller and Mason Beinhauer off row 3, Justin Brester, Braden Jones on the 4th row, Seth Christensen, Cannon Posey 9th and 10th, Robert Hummer and Tom Land rounding out your 12. And of course, heat number 2 brought to you by KT's Steering Service, Kevin Thomas Racing Services, rebuilds, repairs, Iron Dynos power steering gears and pumps for the midget, sprint car and Silver Crown markets. Same as heat 1, top 2 advance, the rest can pack up and go home.
Right, interesting to see how this goes. Kenny Miller, who is already pretty much advanced into the feature from qualifying, he's predicted Hummer from 11th to 1st before turn 1, so we'll see if Robert Hummer can actually do that, but I don't know. It's going to be quite interesting, but right now he'll either way have a very, very long way to make it up through the field.
Alright, let's get heat 2 underway. Josh Stoll will lead them to the green. As a green flag flies, we get ourselves racing and a big checkup in the field. They're almost 5 wide heading through the corner. There's going to be an incident as 2 cars go spinning off to the bottom side of the racetrack. Top 2 make contact and big mess into 1 and 2. Who was that? It was Josh Stoll, the pole sitter, who went backwards up on the top. More contact being made, Gary. Very messy start to this one.
Yeah, so 26 of Karpowicz that got the worst of it, and it's a huge crash off turn number 2.
We'll go back to the lead, and these 2 have managed to get themselves a nice gap in the field, as almost hard to find them on our screens, isn't it, Gary? There's cars literally all over the racetrack. There we are, Bryce Lucas out front with Justin Miller to his bottom. That's the lapped car. And then Robert Hummer back there in 2nd. Josh Stoll's got himself back up into 3rd. So it's not over with for him yet. He's still got a chance chasing down Hummer. And in fact, he's got the pace. Look at how quickly he's closed him down. Seth Stansel coming with him as well.
Yeah, Hummer's using the inside lane. It's not going to work as they both make contact. Stoll is going to get shoved into the outside wall as they make contact.
Again.
He'll hang on to it, but it's going to be a drag race between Hummer.
Oh, big crash!
Big crash. Stenzel and multiple other drivers involved.
Stenzel got absolutely put up into that fence by Robert Hummer, or in fact the other way round, and Stoll somehow in third place again in this one. Your race leader still, Bryce Lucius, out front, having no such issues as they're having behind. The man in second place is now Mason Beinhauer, who started this one from 6. Can he hold on? Can Stoll chase him down? Back there in third. We look on board with Josh Stoll as he runs it around the top of the racetrack. Oh, there's a car stationary, just misses it. Beinhauer didn't, he collected him, turned him around. Remember, no cautions in the heat races. Looking backwards from Beinhauer, that's Josh Stoll getting closer and closer.
Yeah, Josh Stoll is looming in the back view of Mason Beinhauer, closed in the gap lap by lap. As right now, Brian Lucius is going to come to 2 laps to go. Josh Stoll, if Josh can keep up this momentum, then he might be able to get back up into second place, but he might have a little bit of damage as well.
Lucius gonna get in the lapped car, but doesn't hurt him too much as he gets the white flag out at the head of the field. He will come through 3 and 4. He will pick up KT Steering Service heat number 2 at Limaland, and Mason Beinhauer, the other transfer spot.
Yeah, Josh Stoll had tried to make a slide job move off through turns 3 and 4, and unfortunately it did not work, and it was just downhill from there for Stoll's momentum.
So many twists and turns in heat number 2. As heat number 3 will finalise the field. Sorry about that. Riley Emig and Garrett Andrews first and second. Brendan Fox and Darren Nider third and fourth. Reed Whitney and Christian Bruno row 3. Bo Stenzel and Heath Smith 7th and 8th. Caleb Scheitz and Tyler Rankin. Cody Williams, Glenn Carson, and our Heat 3 sponsor is Sharp Advantage Safety Products. At Sharp Advantage Safety Products, they specialise in building the most professional, custom-fit, high-impact, safe seat inserts that are designed to be used in a standard aluminum or carbon seat chosen for the manufacturer of your choice. We'll see what this one brings. Heat 1 was a bit normal. Heat 2 was crazy. What does Heat 3 bring? Third time lucky. As see if we can get a good straight up scrap for the transfer spots. Pace cars out of the way. Green flags in the air here at Limaland. And it was a good start from Darren Nider. Up into the fence goes the number 10. Started second. And now right to the back of the field. That was Garrett Andrews.
And right now it's practically a 4-car battle for the second place position where Braden, no, never mind, Reed Whitney with a huge burst of momentum. Now Darren Nadia, also the huge burst of momentum off of turn number 2 for that second place position. All 5 of these drivers essentially battling for the transfer position, 4 of which battling for the top 2 right now, as it looks to be Reed Whitney trying to make a slide job, and that's not going to work. Darren Nadia is running away with second place for the time being. A little bit of contact from the inside, and the outside wall is going to be Braden Fox. He gets shuffled back a couple places.
Oh, that's not going to end well. No, it's not. Reed Whitney up the track, straight into Bruno. And those two go on back in the order then. That leaves the front 2 as Riley Amig and Darren Nider. 2 seconds back to your third place man in this one, which is Tyler Rankin. And he's scrapping away with Braden Fox for that position. We're on board with Nider here. You can see how much the track has changed already since the first heat. His cushion's moving up quite a bit as that's a mistake from Amig, and Nida will go on a bye on the top side of the track, but Amig slides it back up and takes the line away. Nida cuts to the bottom, and the lap car,
no.
Nida has to go up in front of Amig. And look out, because here comes Braden Fox.
Oh man, Nida almost had that. He'll have the crossover down to the inside lane, a little bit of contact, but Nida back up to second, Fox in third, and Tyler Rankin just a little bit below, but all these drivers, as Fox moves up to second, all these drivers scrambling for the same position, trying to get around.
Oh, no!
There goes Nadia, and there Nida. Rankin also involved, and that might be it for your top two battle.
Yeah, Rankin tried to, as he was sliding out of the racetrack, Bruno was in the middle, dawdling, and unfortunately hit him, turned him into Nida, in an unfortunate incident for those two drivers. So it leaves you top two with Braden Fox and Amig with a very comfortable margin back to the third place man, Cody Williams. At the moment, Nida somehow still in fourth in this one, Rankin in fifth, but it won't be much of a consolation unless they find something late on here in the running. Top two starting to close up, and Mig struggling for a bit of pace it seems, as everyone seems to be running him down, but then running into issues. He somehow stayed out front. Can Fox run him down and get the win in heat number 3? White flag in the air next time around. And Amig with a comfortable margin now out front.
And at this point, it's going to be Riley Emmett crossing the line for the checkered flag. Braden Fox as well will also advance from second place. Also relatively chaotic heat number 3. A great job by Riley Emmett and Braden Fox to get up to the transfer spots.
Only 6 cars able to cross the start-finish line at the end of that one of the Sharp Advantage Safety Products heat number 3. So the field set for the feature will go into the 5-minute warm-up session. They'll all run around on the track. They'll run it down. The track will change a lot in this 5-minute session here as 20 cars run the track down to its bone.
Yeah, at this time I'd be a little bit worried as well, but also if I was somebody from Heat 1, I would definitely be taking advantage of this if I had transferred. So more than likely the best time to do so as well. But if I'm somebody from Heat 3, essentially, I'd be a little bit worried, or pretty much any drivers at all, because the track surface is going to be changing, and will be carrying over into the feature event. So roughly 35% usage for this track, and well, whatever is worn down here carries over into your 40-lap event coming up next in the A-Main. As you can see there, 40 laps, fix up, of course, and the yellow flags are active.
Which means we shouldn't see anything crazy like back guys getting taken out. Or the back guys taking out your lead lap cars after running into issues. But no, hey, that's a big crash for someone going up and over. Guy would have bounced down there on the front straight away. So in this warm-up session, the guys that didn't run in the heat and advance straight through for qualifying get to run around on the track and just figure out maybe some of the racecraft here at this track. The guys in the heat knew what was going to happen. The guys that qualified well watched the heat, but they didn't get to drive it.
Yeah, they have to wait, of course, until the session is available. So basically, if you qualify top 14, well, you have to wait until the warm-up, and even then, the track surface has pretty much changed a little bit. Granted, by only about 10%, give or take a few, but as you can see right now, the other thing that has changed a little bit could be the temperatures throughout the night. You see air temperature 77, 72 for track temperature, relatively decent temperature here, only 56% humidity. So really just the lines that these drivers are running, the lines that these drivers will run in this race is really something to look out for, especially as the top line gets worn down and rubbered in.
This is Hunter Crummy running on board with, at the moment, none of the drivers that advanced straight through thanks to qualifying. He was the final transfer person, I believe. Nope, that was Jeffrey Denny. He qualified through in 13th place, so just squeaked in by the skin of his teeth. The 14 drivers that made it through in qualifying were Logan Rumsey, Chance Crum, Reese Nowatarski, Corey Day, Emerson Axum, Austin Irvine, Randy Hannigan, Joey Amanti, Jack Hoyer, Kenny Miller, Chase Randall, Hunter Crum, and Jeffrey Denny. So the 14 guys that you didn't see in the heats, but they'll be there on the A-main.
Now, luckily, they'll be able to make it in. Ooh, a little bit of close contact off turn 4. It's going to be interesting to see as well the traction, essentially. Again, as the track rubbers in, as the track gets worn down, well, more like worn down first and then rubbered in. So you can see some patches of light gray a little bit starting to form up here as these drivers make their way around pretty much anywhere that really isn't the entire inside lane. But again, just watch out for those tires, because if you hit those tires, then you lose steering control for a little bit. As someone gets a little bit of contact there off the front straightaway.
Under a minute left in the warm-up. The drivers will do their final half a dozen laps, actually, in that time frame. The speeds of this track, only 40 laps ahead of us for the CSI Shocks A-main. So we're going to go by very, very quickly if we get a green flag run in here. Although 20 cars on a track that can be very hard to race at with the lines you try to take and making those moves. Who knows what we've got ahead of us. If the heat is anything to go by, this should be very, very interesting.
This is a great shot to look at the track from, especially with just how different you can see. You can clearly see patches, but expect the track to lighten up here throughout this feature event. Watch for some dark patches start to form up on those light ones as well as it gets rubbered in here for the feature.
So, starting grid for the feature race here at Limaland Motorsports Park. Logan Rumsey on pole. Norkowski starting from 3rd. Chance Crummerby from 2nd place. Corey Day, Emerson Axum, 4th and 5th. Austin Irvine and Rennie Hannigan, 6th and 7th. Joey Amantia starting from 8th. Jack Hoyer and Kenny Miller rounding out your top 10.
In the second half of the field in 11th, it's going to be Chase Randall and Hunter Crum starting 11th and 12th. 13th and 14th hold Jeffrey Denny and Jordan Shipley. They're the last of the 14 drivers to qualify in. Alex Rupert P1 in Heat 1 starts off in 15th. Bryce Lucius starts 16th. 17th going to be Riley Emig. Alex Relling starts off 18th. Rounding out your 20 guild are Mason Beinhauer and Braden Fox.
Competition suspension incorporated. CSI has become the shock of choice for many of today's top professionals. They've won over 5,000 races at many track, regional and national championships around the world. To learn more, visit www.competitionsuspension.com. Thank you for your sponsorship of the series and of the A-main in the spring series as we get ourselves going here. Green flag in the air. Logan Rumsey jumps out to the lead. And 3 wide, 2nd place, trying to go through the middle. That was Emerson Axum. Now he's going to slide up there. And right back comes Reese Nowatarski.
Reese Nowatarski actually, I believe, had made it 3 wide for a little bit, managed to escape, and now it's trapped, and it's going to make contact with another driver. I believe that was Emerson Axum, but they both hang on to it. They do fall back, but they do manage to hang on to it. Luckily, it's on corner entry, but luckily there's nothing too major for them. Someone gets really shuffled back after some contact. It was Jack Hoyer. He also manages to hang on to it. All drivers using all lanes. As up for the lead, it's going to be a brewing battle between Rumsey and Crum. Crum trying to make a slide job off 4, but will not work this time by.
Just left Rumsey enough room off the top to avoid contact between them. That slowed them both up, and Corey Day's caught up to the back of these guys as well. So it's a 3-car battle as you ride on board with Chance Crum, the meat in the sandwich at the moment. Down to the bottom side of the track, he slides up in front. A bit of nose to tail contact between them. but coming straight on back is going to be Logan Rumsey. 3 wide for the lead of the race. Contact between all 3 of them as Corey Day tried to get to the bottom side of the both. Couldn't quite keep it down there, and now Randy Hannigan back there in 4, starting to close in too.
I'm honestly really surprised that they managed to hang on to it. That was impressive. 3 wide and making all sorts of contact in the sprint cars. You really never see anyone hang on to it like that, but you can see right now battle for essentially first place at this point. Going to be between Rumsey, Crum. Oh, caution is out. I guess that battle's going to be put on the hold for the time being. Oh, George Shipley, 22 in the catch fence.
First caution flag of the day. Ricard in the fence. Is look to replay. This is Shipley down at the bottom side. Way! He must have hit a tyre.
He did.
Contact up there. That's why I ended up down the bottom side. Throws it in. Gets the tyre. Gets pitched into a roll. Up into the fence. We'll take a look at a quick on board here. Barely even see it down there. It is very hard to pick sometimes based off your line, isn't it?
Yeah, luckily I believe we're going to get the on to go the signal this time by. But yeah, those tires are practically invisible under these lights. I wasn't sure exactly what happened, but once I saw that kind of a flip as the lights go out, I was thinking, oh, it has to be a tire. But if not, then, well, something must have broke.
Yeah, it's definitely a tyre that he hit down there. Actually got the right sides below. He took a very, very tight line. So Rumsey and Crum on the front row. Corey Day from 3rd as we get ourselves back under green flag conditions at Lima Motor Sports Park. And Day trying the big slider on him down there. Couldn't work out. Crum gets to the bottom. That was a huge wad of cars behind them for 4th on the racetrack. As Corey Day makes the move for the lead again. Again, the slide job not working on the exit for him. Rumsey holding on for now.
I thought Chance Crum was going to try and have a little bit of a battle, but that was not going to work. You see the black and orange car trying to make a move for the inside. I believe that was Chase Randall that tried to make a move, almost made it 3 wide, but right now Logan Rumsey is just running away with this as the 02 got in the 83 got in the outside wall. And that's going to be a battle for 2nd as we got a crash on the caution now on the back straightaway. But
Caution comes right as they all watered up for 2nd place there. Trying to find out who. It's Kenny Miller. He's on his side. We'll look at the replay here. Kenny Miller coming around. What happened?
it's actually the 50.
Yeah, here we go. Oh yes, 50, and someone else too. And Miller, unfortunately, getting tipped sideways and that, eventually getting hit and put onto his side. This is looking at that number 50, Reese Nowatarski.
Yeah, Notarski did not have a good entry to turn number 3, hit the outside wall just a bit, and then hit the wall on the outside of turn number 4, came down to 12, and well, that's exactly what happened.
So, another caution out, right as we come up on the halfway point of the race, going by in a flash here in the CSI Shocks A main. Green flag going to come back out there on the racetrack, back in the air, Rumsey again, as they will chop and change up here at the front. Down to the bottom, Randy Hannigan with a huge turn of speed. Doesn't quite work out for him. Corey Day went backwards to the middle there. All the way back into 5th place now. Chance Crumb's back into 4th. And Emerson Axum's found its way up into 2nd. So a big change in the top half a dozen cars.
Right now, I think Axum is trying to get a slide job on Rumsey. It won't work. He does get one on Hannigan, who crosses over down to the inside. Doesn't try a slide job as the 18 and loses a little bit of momentum on that corner exit as well. So back to single file between your top 4 as Logan Rumsey is taking a little bit of the lower exit, maybe trying to dive into a little bit off the corner, carry some speed with that lower exit. But Axum now in 2nd place as we're riding on board Randy Hannigan, seeing what is all behind him. It's just a huge rush of cars.
Looking back at Crum from Hannigan's rear bumper bar. You can see Connor Day going to the bottom of the track. No momentum down there for him. And not going to work out as up into the fence went Chase Randall, and around goes Jeffrey Denny. He keeps the momentum up, goes for a nice little 360 spin, and keeps it going under green flag conditions. Yeah, there's a great little flick spin there.
Oh, 41, I believe. Yeah, a little bit of contact on the outside wall. Corey Day just hangs on to it, though, luckily. A little bit of contact between himself and, I believe, Chance Crum, but he does hang on to it.
Now he's having to deal with Chase Randall going on by him. They'll try to make the crossover move down the back straightaway. As our race leader Rumsey is going to step out to a nice half-a-second margin now. Back to Axon in second, Rannigan and Crum battling away for third place. Hannigan got into the fence and goes to the bottom of the track, and Crum drives around the outside of him over the top side of the track as caution comes out.
May have been a quick spin. Not seeing anything as of yet for the caution.
Quick spin brings the caution out, and Crum has got himself up into third place, completed that move at the perfect time on Randy Hannigan. Ooh. It's going to be under 10 laps to go here when we get ourselves back underway, so a short dash, shorter than a heat race, to get ourselves going. And Rumsey's led it all the way so far. He's just got to hold on for another handful of laps. I'll tell you what, he's going to have it stacked up against him, isn't he?
And more than likely, it was actually contact between Lucius and M&T, but really the quick spin from Lucius is what brought the caution.
So
battling for real estate, really, at the time.
Yeah. So the dash to the end, green flag back in the air. Rumsey jumps out clear of them all. Chance Crum down low, trying to take away second. They're 4 wide for second, a place through 1 and 2. Now he takes it away. Connor Day, a huge slide job, and not going to work out. He goes right back where he started.
Oh, he's going to run over the tire. I think all the tires, actually. He does make onto it as they're 3 wide. And oh, Anderson Axon inside fence. The 42 is going to come right in front of another driver. And it's contact in the back. No caution because it's so far back. I believe it was the 32 with CS, but Axum has not gotten going. He does take a tow, and caution avoided essentially. No, never mind.
Chase Randall on his side. There was a 4-way collision coming out of the corner, heading down the back straight away. Take a look at this, Gary.
Yeah, there's guys getting on the outside wall. A little bit of contact that was in the back, so that wasn't really warranted of a caution. That's what started it, and there was essentially an accordion effect right there, and yeah, just getting maybe a bit onto the inside was Chase Randall trying to gain positions.
So we should have a 1 or 2 lap dash here to the checkered flag. Very short caution periods on the dirt tracks, thankfully. Let's see if the lights go out on the pace car as it comes across the stripe. Lights out. So we'll restart with 2 laps to go at Limaland Motorsports Park. Rumsey has got to do it one more time. His restarts have been flawless so far today. Just needs to execute one final time. He goes early, catches some of them sleeping. Connor Day, one of those drivers, loses a bunch of spots. Crum, a great restart though, almost to the outside of Rumsey in 1 and 2. Hannigan's down the bottom side as well. White flag in the air, the battle for the leaders on. Rumsey versus Crum up top. Can Crum go for the big slider down in 3 and 4? Throws it to the bottom side of the track, but Rumsey with the momentum up top, he wins. CSI Shocks Amen from Limaland. Great victory for Rumsey.
Great drive as well by Randy Hannigan. I thought he also tried to take to the inside, but Crum had also done that as well. So great job overall between all these drivers. Logan Rumsey with a great restart to get a wonderful victory for him here tonight.
We'll go to a break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll come back with your post-race results and post-race interviews. Welcome back to the CSI Shock Spring Series here on the Global Sim Racing channel. A-Main concluded, Logan Rumsey, your race winner from Chance Crum. Randy Hannigan coming home in third, Corey Day and Jack Hoyer rounded out the top 5. Alex Ruppert coming home in 6th, Mason Weinhauer 7th, Jeffrey Denny in 8th, Joey Amantea 9th, and Bryce Lucius in 10th.
Rounding out the rest of the 20 car field, it's going to be Chase Ram in 11th, Emerson Axon in 12th, Alex Relling, Reese Nowotowski, and Riley Emig rounding out 13th to the 15th. Kenny Miller, Hunter Crum, Austin Irvine, Jordan Shipley, and Braden Fox round out your 20 car field.
We'll take the time to talk to our race winner, Logan Rumsey. Welcome to the booth. Good job. You had to work hard for that one at the end there.
Yeah, Chance was really fast. The track was like really challenging there. Got out to lead at the start, and they were all started to try to race me. Found the really fast line in 1 and 2, kind of dimed it off there, and it was just kind of you had to send it in 3 and 4 right against the wall, and yeah, we got it done.
And in terms of the difference, obviously you qualified on the pole in qualifying, so you didn't get a chance to race in heats 1, 2 or 3. Obviously the warm-up helped you a bit, but how much did the track change, obviously, from qualifying to the A-Main? How much of an adjustment is it?
Yeah, the track was really fast for qualifying. It was like 20%, and the warm-up, it kind of slicked off, and the feature changed it a lot. Like, it went from middle or at the start, and it just went to the top the whole way around.
Cautions didn't seem to phase you at all. There was plenty of them towards the end. There was, I think, 4 in total. In terms of the restarts, how hard is it to judge it right? And then obviously you've got those guys who can try to pull the sliders on you, but just trying to put yourself in the right position to get back into the lead.
Yeah, I was just trying to change up my starts every time so they didn't get that good of a start, and then just hopefully they don't slide me in turn 1.
Did a good job of hanging on out there, and a well-deserved victory. Before we let you go, who are the people that get it done for you and the sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
I want to thank 600cc Performance, Newland Bar Service, and CSI Shocks for letting me run this.
All right, well, thank you very much. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to you next week as well. Thank you. That was your race winner, Logan Rumsey. And that will wrap us up here at Limaland Motorsports Park. Thank you to CSI Shocks for organising this and sponsoring the series. And thanks to the companies that provide software and hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. Additional thanks as well to June Lalonde, who provides wonderful music. You can see the screen to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team as well, Gary and Sean. If you want to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at theglobalsimracingchannel.com, or you can check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Gram. If you want to support us, you can go and check out our merchandise store at gsrc.storenvy.com. That link will be in the description below. Don't forget to head on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button and help us get towards 10k. We're almost there on YouTube, and you won't miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Upcoming races listed on your screen. Check those out. Mark them down in your calendar. Stay tuned. We've got 2 more broadcasts coming up today right here on GSRC. But from all of us here in the booth, thanks for joining us, and until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.